Hey everyone, and welcome to the August 22nd, 2026 movie collection update. It has been a time since the last one. What was the last one? Like June 1st? So the whole summer has gone by. A lot has happened in life. You see, I've actually had a lot going on the channel lately. So yeah, it's been a busy, crazy summer, but it's been a productive one. And hey, no complaints with me. Life is going good. So I actually have a really big update to get into here. Everything I've gotten June 1st onward, which is actually a lot. A lot of pre-orders came in, a lot of new releases for theatrical films. So let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. And the first one, I pre-ordered this right when it first got announced just because I wanted to sport the metrics on it. And this is a historic, I don't know how Arrow Video got this, how they were able to license this or convince Netflix to let them do it. They did a couple different releases of it. I got the most basic, bare bones of the complete series of Stranger Things. Now, this is not the 4K set, this is the Blu-ray set, and it is not the deluxe Blu-ray set. As you can see, it's just the regular, comes in the black box, just with the seasons there. But I wanted to, you know, help the cause. Show Netflix, you know, hey, there's still people buying this physical media that really like it. And for most of the time, I was a really big Stranger Things fan. The first season, fantastic. Obviously, it hooked everybody. Season 2 was kind of weak, kind of a step down, but, you know, it is what it is. This might be an unpopular opinion, and I think it is, but I don't know why. My favorite season, hands down, is Season 3. I love Season 3. The summer that came out, and then Season 4, this is really where the problems started. It's way too big, way too overbloated, way overlonged, and then I think the 5th season pissed everybody off with the way it ended. You know, I like the show. Season 3 is the best one. Hopper should have stayed dead at the end of it. The biggest flaw was them refusing to kill any main characters. The characters had all the plot armor in the world. I think it should have just ended at, like, Season 3. Because Season 4, Season 5, they're just too big. The show got way too big for its britches. But at the end of the day, I do like the show. I'm happy to own the complete series. And yeah, it's cool. Hopefully this could, you know, be the start of more things like this happening for, you know, streaming shows and streaming exclusives. Case in point, what I'm about to talk about here, which I never in a million years thought this would be something I was talking about in a movie collection update. I am not a Star Wars fan. I have never been a Star Wars fan. I have tried watching Star Wars, and I just cannot get into it. Went with some coworkers / good friends, because they really wanted to see The Mandalorian and Grogu, the new movie that came out this year. I really didn't have any interest. I was just kind of going along. I'm like, all right, let's see what this is like. And I'll be surprised. I really enjoyed that film. Like, I had a lot of fun with it. So I retroactively went back, because I don't have a Disney Plus subscription. I went back and picked up all 3 seasons of the show, The Mandalorian, which Disney only released on Steelbook because for some fucking reason everything has to be Steelbook now. Like, ooh, it's special, it's gotta be Steelbook, it's gotta be limited. Fuck off. But The Mandalorian. So this is the first season. Let's see here. We got the second season. And then my good friend Meg let me know I had to watch some episodes of The Book of Boba Fett. So I did that, which you have to do before you watch Season 3. Season 3 is not that good. Season 3 got really distracted into the whole lore of the Mandalorian culture and, you know, community, and there was some stunt casting. Not a big fan of Season 3, full disclosure. But the film that came out this year, as well as Seasons 1 and 2, really fun. Really thoroughly enjoyed this show. Love these 2 seasons. The 3 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett that were Mandalorian-centric were pretty good. And I like the film that came out this year. So I never in a million years thought I'd be sitting here showing you these. But yeah, here we are. Had a lot of fun. The Mandalorian and Grogu movie comes out this coming week, so that'll be talked about in my October Halloween movie update. But yeah, The Mandalorian, great show. My tail is between my legs. I actually like something Star Wars related. So I look forward to seeing what that cute little green guy does next. And now we have an onslaught of new releases. And this first one, I've got a lot of personal basis with this. Super Mario Galaxy was one of my games growing up. Love Super Mario Galaxy. And I love Super Mario Galaxy 2. I've got a whole vlog and movie review of this on the channel that I did with Jason, Jackson, and Levi, so just scroll on my channel from this past April. You'll see a Super Mario Galaxy movie vlog. So I won't go into it too much, but here it is, the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Had to buy it. It's an entertaining movie. It's a fun movie. It's not a Super Mario Galaxy movie. I think they should have just called this the Super Mario Brothers Movie 2. There's not enough Galaxy in here to warrant it being a Galaxy movie. Rosalina is barely there. Had they followed the story of the Galaxy game, especially with Rosalina's storybook, I think Illumination could have surprised everyone and made a really emotional Mario ride. And they just ignored all of that. So they really cheaped out, but it is Illumination, so I guess I cannot be totally surprised. And even just down to little things, like all throughout the movie, they're hyping up going to the Space Junk Galaxy. Which, Super Mario Galaxy, the Space Junk Galaxy has some of the best music I've ever heard in a video game. So why do you hype up the Space Junk Galaxy all through this movie, and when they get there, they don't even play the music of that galaxy? Come the fuck on. I can say this as a lifelong Super Mario Galaxy enthusiast. They dropped the ball on this. Is it still fun? Yes. It's funny, it's entertaining, it's cute. They got Yoshi there. You know, gotta give some points for that, but this should have been so much better. They should have just actually made it a Super Mario Galaxy movie. Ugh, breaks my heart. Breaks my heart. Now this one turned into one of the most profitable films of all time, a surprise sleeper hit that came out of nowhere and sniped it. I don't think it needs much introduction at this point. Be careful what you wish for, because it's Obsession. I saw this in the theater opening weekend, and I had a good time with it. I really liked it. There were some scenes in here that thoroughly creeped me out. Like, namely the scene where Bear wakes up and Nikki is like in the corner of the room, kind of shuffling around. Like, that was creepy shit. Like, props. They made a really good movie with this. I walked out of that. I told some of my friends to go see it. I really enjoyed myself. That said, this is the movie that became the big phenomenon, making 400 times its budget and becoming the internet's biggest sensation. And I'm just like, okay, I don't really know what about it, because there's nothing in this movie I haven't really seen elsewhere. So that it caught me a little off guard that this is the movie that broke through. But hey, I'm glad it did, because hey, original horror is coming back, lower budget filmmaking is coming back. I wish stuff like this would happen to genres outside of horror. I would love to see some mid-budget theatrical comedies again, and something of that nature. But I think this is a great step in the right direction. It's proof that the younger generation still wants to go to the movie theaters, that simple movies can still be events. Just last weekend, I was at Fan Expo Chicago, where I got to meet Michael Johnston, who plays Bear in this film. Couldn't have been any nicer, couldn't have been any cooler. He's a great guy. Him and I chatted a little bit, got along great. So yeah, I'm happy to own this. I think it's a great little movie. I'm just a little puzzled with why this is the one that went to extreme heights, But this is where I'm going to lose everybody, but I do not give a shit. Because this is my #1 movie of the year thus far, of the ones that I've seen. I have not seen Project Hail Mary yet. I have not seen The Odyssey yet, so I'm still lacking. I've had a busy year, guys. I can't always be watching movies, but I saw this in the theater on a blind whim. Didn't really know much about it outside of the bare basic synopsis, which even then it's a lot like Ready or Not 2, which got released the same weekend and absolutely screwed this movie over. But I just kind of blindly on a Sunday afternoon went to see this, just kind of like, oh, let's check this out. Let's see what this is like. I cannot recall the last time I had this much fun in the theater. Like, I was just watching this movie and all the creativity, and I did not have any idea what was going to happen next. I had the time of my life watching this, and it's the movie They Will Kill You, starring Zazie Beetz, Patricia Arquette, Tom Felton, and Heather Graham, which is one hell of a cast. You even got the voice of James Remar in here playing a hell of a character. We'll just say that, a hell of a character. This is a blast. It's creative, it's gory, it's practical, it has this awesome Halloween-y, like almost haunted house vibe in this hotel. The action scenes are batshit insane and so well choreographed. There's all these bonus features on here talking about the fight choreography, the carnage, the gore effects, how they did everything practically. This is a B horror fan's wet dream. I loved every second of They Will Kill You, and I really hope it develops the cult audience that it deserves. This beats the ever-living shit out of either one of the Ready or Not movies. Yes, I just said that. They Will Kill You beats the ever-living shit out of both Ready or Not movies. Hashtag change my mind. I loved it. Absolutely love this. Gets my highest recommendation. And now this is also kind of a historic release because it's been 4 years coming. This was a pretty successful horror hit the year it came out, 2022. I saw it in the theater. And it was infamous for never having a physical release. And I'm of course talking about Barbarian. I'm still trying to get over the fact I'm holding a legitimate physical copy of this. It's so cool. So cool this finally got it. Again, I don't know why it had to be Steelbook. I don't know what was wrong with just doing a standard thing like this. But we have to prioritize Steelbook. We have to prioritize Steelbook. Some stupid fucking reason. I don't know. But it was the only option, so I had to get it. Because I had to support movies like this getting releases. And Barbarian is a really cool, creepy, effective little movie. The last 10 minutes completely falls apart. The ending is so stupid. The last 10 minutes are absolutely terrible. But beyond that, the build-up, the story, the twists and turns, I really love this one. And I share some very crazy memories with this. I've told the story before, but when I saw this in the theater back in 2022, it was actually a date movie. And the girl that I was going to see it with brought her mom to the date. And I didn't know anything about Barbarian. She was the one who pitched it, saying, oh, Ken, do you want to go see the new horror movie Barbarian that's out? And I had never even heard of it up to that point, but I said, oh, sure, yeah, a girl horror movie, like, yeah, let's go see it. So the mom ended up coming with. And so in the theater, I was sitting in the middle of the two of them. So my lady friend was sitting to the right, and her mom was sitting to the left. And the mom was very vocal about hating horror movies. And I'm just like, why are you here? What is happening? And the mom hated every second of it. Which, given where the plot of this goes, this is not it is a motherly horror film, just not in the traditional sense that she probably would have wanted. So I always have that crazy memory tied to Barbarian. And, there's a little documentary on here. There's a commentary, which is actually a really good commentary. That's how I rewatched the movie. And some deleted scenes. So, yeah, come on. Keep bringing the streaming movies out. I still have a lot to go, so I need to speed this up. I don't want these to be too long-winded, I just need to show what I got, recommend them, and move on. So, sorry for my yapping, but certain movies like They Will Kill You, I think absolutely warrant it, because very criminally underrated. So I got this double feature here, primarily to contribute to my Jason Statham collection with Homefront, penned by Sylvester Stallone, and it also came with End of Watch. End of Watch is a very interesting experiment of a film. I know it's very highly regarded. It did not do much for me. I was not really that far in the gimmick of End of Watch. And this is coming from me, a guy, one of my favorite shows in the history of the universe is The First 48. I also will never turn down an episode of Live PD if it's on, so I do like that kind of stuff, but end of watch, I just couldn't get into it. Couldn't get into the gimmick. And Homefront as a Statham vehicle with a white trash Winona Ryder and James Franco as your villains, it's a Statham movie. It's fun, it's entertaining, nothing crazy memorable about it, but hey, it's another Statham, and you get to see Frank Grillo in there, who I always like. But the real Frank Grillo movie, now this one was a blast. I was late to the party on this. I had never seen this before. Really dug this. Like, this was a really cool, hilarious little thriller, action, dark comedy, just grindhouse hybrid with Gerard Butler and Frank Grillo, and I want to get her name right, Alexis Louder in Copshop. Fun. Drinking game. How many times do I say the word fun when I do these updates? Entertaining, twisty, turning, never stops, dark comedy, great mashup, great execution. The thing that ultimately wins this movie over, Toby Huss. His character in this is one of my all-time favorite villains now. Toby Huss's character is like the balloon guy in this. I was already really enjoying this. And then Toby Huss's character comes in and all bets are off. Like, loved it. Great little movie. Really, really enjoyed this. Alright, going in more for like an action comedy type thing. It didn't get the balance quite as right. I had a little bit of higher hopes going into it given who is in it. All About the Benjamins with Ice Cube, Mike Epps, Eva Mendes. It was giving me shades of Blue Streak with Martin Lawrence, which is a comedy I really enjoy, and I would put that way above this. This is fine. It has its moments of action. It has its moments of comedy. It's your typical kind of buddy dynamic. It just doesn't stand out that much, if I'm being honest. It was fine, just didn't really leave too much of an impression. I already forgot a lot of what even happens in it, so. And now I'm very happy that Alliance Entertainment, formerly, I think still tied in with Mill Creek Entertainment, whenever I'm at my used stores and I'm looking at Blu-rays and stuff, I love buying the retro VHS slipcovers that they do, because it's usually for pretty obscure little movies, and I just like having the aesthetic on my shelf. And so they disappeared for a while, but they are finally back, Alliance Entertainment, and they've been coming back strong, releasing a shit ton of stuff. One of which is a movie from the 80s. I got the DVD of this in high school, so it was cool to get a Blu-ray upgrade of Lovelines, this 80s sex comedy, Romeo and Juliet hybrid with a Battle of the Bands plot and an absolutely excellent 80s soundtrack. Love the songs in this movie. When I saw this was getting this kind of a release, I got really excited. I had to pre-order it right away. So, you know, it's not top shelf quality, but for an 80s Romeo and Juliet story that's told through the lens of like a musical sex comedy, you gotta kind of love Lovelines. And Michael Winslow's in it too, so how can you hate that? So Lovelines. And then because they're coming back out, Barnes & Noble, all the old Mill Creek VHS slipcovers have been coming back out, and they were putting them on sale for like $7 at my Barnes & Noble. So when I went, I stopped there after work one day, and sure enough, they had a ton of these there, so I bought 2 of them. One of which is Renegades with Kiefer Sutherland and Lou Diamond Phillips. Buddy action movie from late 80s, and it was actually pretty enjoyable. Doesn't break the mold too much. It follows the exact template you would expect it to. Although I love both of these guys. So just seeing the 2 of them, you know, all I need right there. And there's a car chase in this that is surprisingly lengthy, and it's impressive with how destructive it gets. So props to the car chase in this. But, you know, I paid $7 for this, so great value. And then this, I've seen this movie before. I just never got around to physically owning it. So now I have a copy of the original Problem Child, featuring even, John Ritter, obviously, but a very early pre-Seinfeld appearance of Kramer, Michael Richards, as our villain. I've never seen Problem Child 3, namely because I could never find it anywhere. So I've never seen Problem Child 3, because I can never find it. Problem Child 2, I saw that back when I was in high school. Aside from having some good songs on the soundtrack, I hated Problem Child 2 survives solely on just the most gross out, crude humor, and that is just not my speed. Problem Child 2. If they gave it a release like this, I probably would pass on it. There's, of course, the famous carnival ride scene. You guys know what that is, but then, there's a lemonade scene, and I'm just like, tough. Fuck this. This ain't comedy. Just didn't check the boxes. This one I like, though. Problem Child I like. Alright, getting down to it, we have 3 Blu-rays remaining. Alright, we got 3 Blu-rays left, and the first 2, these go kind of hand in hand, because these pretty much exist as post-Matrix era kind of knockoff movies. Even though they're different enough, but they're also similar enough to the Matrix where I could see how people are comparing them. And so they're these 2. The One and Equilibrium. The One is another one for the Jason Statham collection that I have here. And I will say with this one, I went in pretty blind. I didn't really know that much about this. I really love this. It is so silly. It is so crazy. The soundtrack is so of the time period with all this early 2000s new metal. Drowning Pool is all over this thing. And it's so crazy. It's so goofy. Statham has hair in it. But it's a ride. To use that overused word I keep saying, it's so fun. I love this. This was pure popcorn entertainment. I was all over it. Really enjoyed The One. And then there's Equilibrium, which is very much post-Matrix, but this one borrows more from George Orwell, 1984, if I could say, in that regard. It's weird with this one, the action scenes were my least favorite part of it, just because they felt so forced in there. You had this 1984 George Orwell type story going on, and then the movie would stop to do these clear Matrix kind of rip-off sequences. So it's weird to say that about an action movie like this. The action scenes were my least favorite part. But no, both of these made for a cool little double feature. This is definitely my pick of the 2, which again is probably sacrilege because this is without a doubt a better written, more socially adept film. But hey, I go for entertainment value more than anything else, and this left me with a smile a lot of the time. So, and then this I bought, and it's funny, I watched this on the 4th of July, and the movie ends with a fireworks display. So how perfect was that? Doesn't need much introduction. I'm pretty late to the party with getting to this, but I was happy to finally pick up Passenger 57 with Wesley Snipes. Great time. Great time. I mean, do I really need to say anything about Passenger 57? Come on. It's a very enjoyable 90s action film. It, gets a thumbs up from me. Okay, now the rest of everything I have here are DVDs, because these are things that just don't have Blu-ray releases, and they're oddities. And, going from a die-hard-ish thing such as Passenger 57, I bought this at a thrift store. I had never heard of it, but I saw the cast, and I read the synopsis, and then I saw the screenplay was written by Steven D'Souza, who did the screenplay at Die Hard. I'm like, wow, he's writing his own little knockoff here? Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about a film called Blast, which is probably the dumbest thing I have ever seen in my life. And I adored every second of this delightful piece of crap. You've got Vinnie Jones as your environmentalist terrorist who squares off against John McClane, this time played by Eddie Griffin, who is teamed up with an awkward white guy named Jamal, played by Breckin Meyer. Vivica Fox is our Al Powell type role. Tiny Lister Jr. is there as a henchman who yells "trick or treat" while firing a bazooka, despite the fact this takes place on Christmas Day. And as he prepares for battle, as a pump-up line, Eddie Griffin says, "All right, it's George Bush time." I can't not give this a 10 out of 10. I mean, come on, guys. This is cinema perfection. And I am so glad this exists. And I am so glad that I own it. Blast was a blast. And then we come to, this was a very blind buy just by the cast. I'm like, oh, that sounds interesting. You know, taking place in Chicago, even though they made up a fake team for it. It's this thing, it's based on a play and like an older 70s like teleplay or something. This is like a remake called Bleacher Bums. And I get what they're trying to do here. The cast, I mean, Wayne Knight, Brad Garrett, great to see them all there. They do the most with their characters. It's a slice of life where you're just in the bleachers at a baseball game with these characters and you're just spending the afternoon with them. I like the concept. I can see the concept. I can see why people, especially baseball fans and such, would really enjoy this. I did not like this at all. I was bored out of my mind. And I like going to, like, baseball is the sport that I have the softest spot for. And I agree, it is one of the more boring ones where there's more downtime than any other sport. But I love going to baseball games. And like, I've been, you know, go see the White Sox, you know, all the time, you know. In movie form, it just didn't do it for me. I just, yeah, this one just didn't land. It didn't hit. You know, it was a strikeout. And then this was a pure blind buy just because I was like, this sounds really weird, and it was. So it's called Rock My World. Looking at this cover, you know, Alicia Silverstone, you would think that this would be like a Battle of the Bands or a band story, a band on the road type drama. But no, it's a fish out of water story about these English aristocrats in their big estately manner who have to pose as their own servants because they're taking care of this American rock band at their estate. And it's like a fish out of water comedy. It's like Almost Famous meets Downton Abbey. It's not boring. It's certainly an oddity. I think I watched this entire thing sitting there with one eyebrow raised, just like, what? Who is this for? Like, why does this exist? And hey, in this day and age when I can still find oddities like that, hey, it's directed by Sidney J. Fury, too. And I'm just like, what? There's got to be stories behind why this exists. I mean, it's not terrible. I was entertained by it. It's just such a weird thing. This I was very excited to pick up because this is one of my favorite bands from Finland. It's a live DVD they put out in 2009-ish, 2009, after the release of their album Heart Full of Fire. I was very lucky to not only see this band live, which I never thought would happen. Last summer I traveled to Sweden for the Malmö Melodic Rock Festival, where I got to see this Finnish band live in Sweden, and it was a bucket list item checked off. And then I pulled an all-nighter hanging out with the lead singer, which, hey, it doesn't get any better than that. So, Brother Firetribe live at the Apollo. Pekka, the guys in the band, it's one of my all-time favorite bands. Love all their albums. Finally found this used at a good price online because it was always from Europe. Always kind of inflated to try to find this. Listen to the Brother Firetribe album, Heart Full of Fire, if you love 80s rock. Support these guys. They got a new album coming next year in 2027 is what I hear. So, yeah. Happy to add this to my collection and support some amazing musicians in an amazing band. And closing out the deal here, this was at Walmart, and I'm like, you know what, that's a good deal. Let's pick that up. The George Carlin Commemorative Collection with all these different stand-up specials and interviews and things. Man, what can you say about George Carlin? He didn't give a fuck. He spoke his mind. He was brutal. He was honest. And he was hilarious. You know, George Carlin, Richard Pryor. It's a bygone era of comedy. So, yeah, happy to add this to my collection. And going through all of his specials included in this, it was great. Peace be to you, George Carlin. Alright, and that is my movie update for August 22nd, 2026. We're heading into the fall now, so you know I'm going to start seeking out all my horror movies. So my October update, well, The Mandalorian and Grogu will be in it. But then, you know, I'm going to start getting into all the horror movies. October is that fun month where, you know, we do one of these, but I do it with all horror movies. I seek a bunch of obscure horror movies out, watch them all for it. So that'll be nice, but we'll see what else the fall has in store. There's a lot on my channel from the summer, so feel free, creep on through, check it all out. Hope you enjoy. Thank you for watching. Leave your comments down below, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you.